Welcome to the Success School podcast. I'm your host, Tim Frey, and today I'm talking to you about how to 5x your highest sales month with this simple hack. So, in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to build a stupidly good offer that your prospects cannot say no to. How I had my biggest ever sales month in a very long time. I'm talking probably 2 to 3 years by using this framework that I'm going to teach you guys in this episode today. Before I get into this, I always like to start with a little bit of what's going on and a personal story. So we're going through some renovations at my gym at the moment, and with renovations comes hard work. I'm sure you guys know that. So what was going on is we needed to take out a wood wall. So a wooden wall, it was actually like a little bit of demolition work that was going on in the gym. And I kind of took it on myself to get involved in the process. So if you've been following along with my Tools with Tim journey, I'm trying to get a little bit more handy. It's not that I can't outsource this stuff. I just wanted to be involved and test out my manliness or manhood, so to speak. And it was basically removing wooden panels, carrying them over to a bin, chopping them up, cutting them up, using all the tools, drills, etc., doing some paint, literally some really simple shit. Probably was about 5 to 6 hours work. I'm telling you now, I was absolutely crushed. Like I was fucked up. Things were hurting that I didn't know could hurt. I had aches, I had pains, I had literally pains everywhere. And I thought to myself, I was like, how does anyone do this for a job? So I was speaking to a few of my friends and clients about it, and they just kind of said, you get used to it. So I'm just not a very handy person. And people always say to me as well, is like, if you're doing so well in business, like, why don't you just get people to do it? But I also like to just be involved in these types of things. I'm sure you guys can understand it as well. It's like, it's my baby. I just want to be involved in the process of the renovations as well. Kind of feel like I had a hand in it. So speaking of hard work, I'm going to make selling your offer so easy. I know a lot of people make sales and selling and offers super tough, confusing, and complex. I wanted to simplify that, and that's why I've been studying offers, lead generation marketing for, probably over 10 years now. And I've found a framework which I've adapted from a few different places into a Grand Slam offer framework, which is really simple and easy to use. And at the end of this podcast, you guys are going to have that exact framework as well. So the whole concept here is you want to be able to make an offer to someone so good that they feel stupid saying no to that offer. Before we get into it, I want to tell you where offers do go wrong. Usually an offer goes wrong when you're selling something really cheap to a really small audience. So hypothetical example, if I was a personal trainer and I was selling a $97 offer and my audience was 100 people, and of the 100 people, I had 10 people who were my perfect avatar. And of the 10, I could get 6 on a sales call. And of the 6, I could sell half of them. So that would be 3. And then I would have capped out my entire market, or the percentage of people that I could sell this offer to immediately in my immediate audience. And I've only made $300. This is where a lot of people go wrong, especially like in the coaching space. This goes wrong where people sell like a membership. I'm not trying to shit on memberships here, but everyone thinks it's a great idea to have a really low cost membership. The thing is, you just have to work as hard to sell a membership as something, let's say 10 or 100 times the price of it. You still have to make the sale. So you may as well sell something of value that's going to move the needle in your business and change their life. Let's be honest. A lot of the times a membership is not really going to change anyone's life, nor is it going to get the result that you want to get for the person. And it's not really going to make you any money either. So you need to think about the dynamics of this. So if you had a really big audience, say 100,000 followers on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc., and then you were selling a membership or something of, low value, like $97, $50 a month, something like that, then yeah, you're going to make tons of money because the offer works and the math work of that. It doesn't work when you've got a really small audience and a really cheap offer. So you need to start thinking about these things when you're creating offers for your audience. Does it even make sense to sell something super cheap, or should it be more expensive? All the time, people think that selling something cheaper is easier. In my experience in business, when you're at the level that you want to be at to make good money, it's easier to sell more expensive things. More expensive clients are generally easier to sell to because they understand the value of what you're trying to sell. If you think about your own business, if you have a business or you're just starting out, who are the clients that are easier to deal with, get better results, and generally are more of your dream client? Generally, it's going to be the people that are spending more money with you. That's just how the mechanics work in business. So we're going to get into building your offer. This is a 6-step framework. The first step is naming the offer. Very simple. So it just has to have a name. The name should be something that your target market demographic or avatar can relate to. So we'll give you a gym example here. If I'm doing a 6-week program, I could call it a 6-week program, or I could call it a 6-week fat furnace challenge. Okay. So we got fat furnace in there. So people know they're going to be burning fat. And then there's a challenge. So they know there's a start and end date versus a 6-week program. You can see how the naming of these things helps. It doesn't have to be outcome related with the name, but having a name that's catchy and they can relate to is a bonus. The second part is you need to have a promise or an outcome. Okay. So the promise of, let's say, this hypothetical 6-week challenge is lose 10% of your body weight or you get your money back. So that's the promise or outcome, what it could be. Another example here is for a business coaching program, we build a 6-figure business in 12 months, or we'll double your money back. That's a guarantee as well on that as well. But there's a promise and an outcome. So there needs to be a promise involved in what you do. The third part of this is scarcity and urgency. So you need to ask yourself how you can create scarcity and urgency in your offers. One of the best offers I ever ran in the gym was a deadline for a 28-day intro program. There wasn't like a specific name on this. There was no promise on this, but it had scarcity and urgency because there was a deadline. We made a ton of sales because we had a email sequence go out and a text sequence, and that said that the offer was ending on a specific date, and after that date, you couldn't get it anymore. And we were solid with that. It's where something goes wrong as well, is if you give fake scarcity and fake urgency. You see there's ads on Facebook and Instagram and people say X challenge or doing X and I've only got 6 spots, and a lot of the times that the person is lying. It just creates a bit of inauthenticity and you lose trust in that brand, which is not something or the position you want to be in for your business. So you need scarcity, you need urgency. So ask yourself how you can create that in your offer. The fourth part of this is you want to have bonuses. So in this example of selling a 6-week challenge, let's say that you get 6 weeks of training and then everything else included in that is a bonus. So what that would look like would be nutrition plan, eVault scans, body fat measurements, onboarding. We've got nutrition programs. We've got sauna. We've got ice bath. We've got accountability coaching. That would all be bonuses on top of the actual 6 weeks of training. You can see what I'm doing here. Rather than lumping it in together, the bonuses are separate to the main offer. So the bonuses should roughly be 10 times more than the asking price in value. Okay. So if the main 6-week program that you're selling is $97, the bonuses should be equal to $997. Okay. And you want to really stack the shit out of the bonus. The people will come to you for the main offer. They will be sold by the bonuses. Let me say that again. People will come to you for the main offer and then they will be sold by the bonuses. The bonuses need to be value stacked. If you're struggling to think of things to add in for bonuses, think about the common problems or objections that they are going to face when using your product. For the fat loss and the challenge example, one of the common issues that they're going to come up against is the nutrition, what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. So you can create bonuses around that. Also, what they're going to come up against is lifestyle, how to choose when to train, how to manage the kids, how to manage their stress, how to manage their sleep. All these types of things you can build bonuses for. You can create ebooks, checklists, etc. Bonuses don't have to be things of value, okay? They can be things like info products as well. They don't have to be selling more time to what you do either. That's just a rabbit hole you don't want to get down as well. You don't want to be selling like a 6-week program and then they can do unlimited group training sessions and then you're giving away all these one-on-ones on top of everything. It just works out being not great for your time. So think about things that don't take more time from you and they can be repeated and scalable. The fourth part to creating a Grand Slam offer is the pricing. So from experience, weekly pricing is definitely working better at the moment. At the time of recording this, 14th of October, 2023, weekly pricing is working really well compared to monthly pricing. So you can have a pay in full option and then you can have a weekly option. So hypothetical example, I'm selling this program for $2,000. So it can be $2,000 up front, or we can do $2,300 paid off in a weekly installment of $100. So that'll be 23 payments. Generally, weekly pricing or a payment plan will be 10 to 30% more. You can go up more from there. If you get more than that, it looks a little bit price gougey, looks a little bit dishonest, looks a little bit inauthentic. So you always want to consider a payment plan and a pay in full option as well when designing a Grand Slam offer. And then the final and sixth part of this is a guarantee. Okay, so a guarantee can be fun, can be related to your brand, can be a little bit different. I want to tell a story for this. Okay, so I signed up with an internet marketer guy for I guess it was a strategy call at the time. He was just giving me some info on his operating system. So his operating system, how he runs his business, etc. I paid for the call. I think it was about $1,000 for the call. And he had a guarantee on his website that said, if you don't get at least $1,000 in value from the call, I'll refund you $1,000 and I'll buy you a burrito. And I thought that was pretty funny. So he used burritos a lot in his marketing. It was his favorite food. There was a lot of copy on his website around burritos. So that all kind of made sense for him. So he had a guarantee on it. So I kind of knew, all right, this guy's guaranteeing what he does. Therefore, I know it's going to be higher value. So you need to think about a guarantee with your product. How can you put a guarantee on what you do to lower the objections from your avatar or ideal client before they purchase with you? It always doesn't have to be fun, different, and weird. It does help if you have a brand that has personality like that, okay? So usually with the gym scenario, if we're doing a guarantee, we would put something on like, if you did the 6-week program, you trained 5 times a week, you tracked all your calories and macros on MyFitnessPal, and engaged in the community, showed up to X onboardings, showed up to X strategy sessions, etc., and you didn't get the result, you could have a refund. Okay, so you need to put stipulations on refunds and guarantees as well. Otherwise, you can get people take advantage of you there. Obviously, if someone claims your guarantee, you need to honor it. Otherwise, you're a sharky business person, and that's not how you want to operate. So a couple of review questions here. We've got 4 of them. So is your offer easy to implement? Okay, it has to be easy to implement. It has to be a yes for this. Otherwise, change it, make it better. The second one is, does it get fast results? We're in a time where people want fast results. How can you get them a result faster? Third question, does it solve a big problem or desire? It has to solve something big and worthwhile and a desire that they have. AKA, I'm going to go back to shitting on memberships again. But usually memberships don't solve a big problem or desire, therefore they are low value and people don't want them. Number 4, does it give the consumer confidence they will be successful with it? Okay, AKA, do you have runs on the board in the thing you're trying to do? All right, just want to transition into a bit of a story here. So usually the biggest issue with any fitness business is getting people in the door. How do you solve that? Well, you need to think about what the objections are to getting people in the door. Usually with a group training gym like mine, price is usually the biggest issue. It's not so much a price thing once they see the value, but it is a price thing initially because they can't see the value. So from the outside, you're like, well, these people lift big weights. They look kind of strong. Everyone's in shape. This is great, but they don't really get it. So you have to get someone in the door. And usually this is not something I would recommend for everyone, but it can work if you have a low barrier entry or a low barrier offer to start. So what I did is I used the framework, I built a Grand Slam offer, and we sold a 28-day intro program for $97. Super cheap. Got a ton of people in the door, and our upsell rate is high. So we know that we have an average lifetime value of somewhere between 19 and 24 months, which means our clients will stay with us on average for 19 to 24 months. So let's do some math here. If I sold a 28-day program for $97 and I sold it to 10 people, I've made $970 on upfront dollars. But on the back end, I know that people spend somewhere between $250 and $400 a month at my gym. And of those 10 people, let's hypothetically say we upsold 5. I know that I'm going to be getting $250 or $400 from 5 of them for 19 to 24 months. Okay. And if you think about the mechanics on that, you're not going to win necessarily on the front end, but you're going to win massively on the back end. Okay. And these are things you need to think about. You need to know your numbers with this stuff. So you need to know what your average client lifetime value is to make these decisions. So we launched that offer. We got a ton of people. So we had a really big sales month. And then the continuation or upsell rate after the 28-day intro program was high as well. So I want you to start thinking about things in the stories I'm telling you here. Can you create a Grand Slam offer with what you do? Can you improve your business? Can you make more sales? Can you make it easier for your prospect to say yes? Can you value stack it? So my final action items here, guys, is the 6 things. You need to name it, create a promise, create scarcity, bonus the shit out of it, make the pricing a no-brainer, and give a guarantee. On the next episode of the Success School podcast, I'm talking about pricing and charging your worth. And finally, guys, just the housekeeping. Don't forget to subscribe, follow the show, and 66% of all podcasts are grown with word of mouth. So if you got something from this, please share it with a friend, and don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Thank you.